Well, hello everyone. I am here with Karen Flood, who is a member of our congregation. Karen, do you want to just introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about who you are.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Karen, and I'm married to Simon, and we have two young girls called Lottie and Sophie, who you may have seen us with at times. We've been members of St George's for about the last 17 to 18 years now, and I work in the Leeds Teaching Hospitals Trust as a consultant vascular interventional radiologist.
And God's been talking to you over the last few years about something particular. Can you share a little bit of that story with us?
Yeah, so about 3 years ago, when I was heavily pregnant, just about to go on maternity leave with our second daughter, Sophie, I really felt that God was calling me to kind of unite Christians within the Leeds Teaching Hospitals Trust, so that we could have a group or a network of people to support each other in the workplace, to help us be Christians on a day-to-day basis at work. And at that time, I'd met with a few friends and colleagues and we discussed it, but I went off on mat leave and I came back and thought, there's a lot of other things going on. But in the way that God works, it's never really gone away, and it's kind of got into a louder and louder thing that it's been a little bit difficult to ignore. And especially with everything that's been going on in the past year, it felt like a really good time where we needed some support for people working in the trust. And so I decided to have a chat to some friends and one of the chaplains in the trust to see about setting up a Christian network. So back in January or February time, there were 5 of us and we formed a WhatsApp group. And that was just to pray for each other. And then by word of mouth, we've grown that group to just under 100 people. And the group basically looks like we have contact with each other, and we're able to put prayer requests on for each other. And we currently have a meeting on a Tuesday lunchtime where we pray and do some Bible study together. But we realised that we didn't want it to be an exclusive group. We wanted it to be as inclusive as possible. And we wanted everyone to know, not just on a word of mouth basis. So we've now registered formally with trust approval to be a registered network within the trust, which means that we're able to advertise freely and we're able to put on events for everyone within the trust. And for anyone who's coming to work in the trust, they will know about us and how to contact us.
Great. Now, that's exciting enough, Karen, but that's not the whole story, is it? So tell us what happened next.
I made an error, and in setting up this Leeds Christian network, I've had a few meetings with different people, and one of them was a Christian medical fellowship group, and they asked me what my vision was. So I said my vision is to set up this Christian network in the trust and to grow it. But I didn't want it to be a Leeds thing. I'd like it to be a Yorkshire thing. So I'd like to establish it in every trust across Yorkshire. But really, ultimately, I'd love to see one of these Christian networks in every single trust in the UK. But obviously, that wasn't for me to do because that's a huge task. So God heard this and he smiled. And I think when your vision is in line with God's vision, you have to be a little bit careful. So a couple of weeks later, I had a phone call inviting me to an informal interview to work as a volunteer to set up UK Christian networks by the Christian Medical Fellowship Group. But our agreement is that these networks are for every single member of the trust. You don't have to be a medic to be part of it. And I think that's really, really important. So I've now got, it's a bit like Challenge Annika, I've got 12 months to set up as many UK networks as possible.
So how can we get behind you with it?
So, I guess 3 ways of helping. Number 1, definitely prayer. So secondly, if you are working in Leeds Teaching Hospitals Trust or you know someone who does, as I said earlier, please can you get in contact? And then thirdly, if you know anyone who works in an NHS trust anywhere in the UK and you think that they would be able to help me with getting these networks set up, please could you contact them and ask them to contact me. They don't have to set up the networks, that's my job. They don't have to lead anything. It's just getting clusters of Christians in networks across the NHS trust, across the UK together to start forming these groups. That would be really helpful.
We're so grateful for all that people have done as they've worked for the NHS, particularly over the last 18 months or so. So this seems like a really good way of supporting people into the future.